Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A particular environment or surrounding influence. There was an atmosphere of excitement. The mass of air surrounding the Earth. There was great heat as the comet entered the atmosphere. The weather or climate at some place. The atmosphere was thick with fog. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. An atmosphere of defeat pervaded the candidate's headquarters. A unit of pressure. The pressure that will support a column of mercury 760 mm high at sea level and 0 degrees centigrade. The envelope of gases surrounding any celestial body. The atmosphere of an environment. A particular environment or surrounding influence. The atmosphere of an environment. A particular environment or surrounding influence. Exposed to fresh air. The mass of air surrounding the Earth. It was exposed to the air. Travel via aircraft. Air travel involves too much waiting in airports. Exposed to cool or cold air so as to cool or freshen. Air the old winter clothes. A slight wind, usually refreshing. As he waited, he could feel the air on his neck. A succession of notes forming a distinctive sequence. She was humming an air from Beethoven. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. An air of mystery. Broadcast over the airwaves, as in radio or television. We cannot air this X-rated song. Make public. She aired her opinions on welfare. Medium for radio and television broadcasting. The program was on the air from 9 till midnight. A mixture of gases, especially oxygen, required for breathing. The stuff that the wind consists of. Air pollution. Be broadcast. This show will air Saturdays at 2 p.m. Exposed to warm or heated air, so as to dry. Once thought to be one of 4 elements composing the universe, Empedocles. The region above the ground. Her hand stopped in mid-air. The weather or climate at some place. An indication of radiant light drawn around the head of a saint. A distinctive but intangible quality surrounding a person or thing. The place had an aura of romance. A sensation, as of a cold breeze or bright light, that precedes the onset of certain disorders such as a migraine attack or epileptic seizure. An unattended machine, outside some banks, that dispenses money when a personal coded card is used. A means of digital communications that is capable of very high speeds, suitable for transmission of images or voice or video as well as data. A unit of pressure. The pressure that will support a column of mercury 760 mm high at sea level and 0 degrees centigrade. A unit of pressure. The pressure that will support a column of mercury 760 mm high at sea level and 0 degrees centigrade. A unit of pressure. The pressure that will support a column of mercury 760 mm high at sea level and 0 degrees centigrade. A state at a particular time. The current status of the arms negotiations. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. He had the status of a minor. The procedure that is varied in order to estimate a variable's effect by comparison with a control condition. Develop a child's or animal's behavior by instruction and practice, especially to teach self-control. Specify as a condition or requirement in a contract or agreement. Make an express demand or provision in an agreement. The state of good health, especially in the phrases in condition, or in shape, or out of condition, or out of shape. A state at a particular time. A condition, or state, of disrepair. Usually plural, a statement of what is required as part of an agreement. The contract set out the conditions of the lease. An assumption on which rests the validity or effect of something else. Information that should be kept in mind when making a decision. A mode of being or form of existence of a person or thing. The human condition. An illness, disease, or other medical problem. A heart condition. Apply conditioner to in order to make smooth and shiny. I condition my hair after washing it. Establish a conditioned response. Put into a better state. He conditions old cars. The effort contributed by a person in bringing about a result. The actions and activities assigned to or required or expected of a person or group. The government must do its part. To some extent, in some degree, not wholly. I felt partly to blame. Assets belonging to or due to or contributed by an individual person or group. A portion of a natural object. They analyzed the river into 3 parts. Something less than the whole of a human artifact. The rear part of the house. One of the portions into which something is regarded as divided and which together constitute a whole. The written part of the exam. Discontinue an association or relation. Go different ways. The business partners broke over a tax question. The melody carried by a particular voice or instrument in polyphonic music. He tried to sing the tenor part. Force, take, or pull apart. Moses parted the Red Sea. An item that is an instance of some type. My dog swallowed a Lego part. A line of scalp that can be seen when sections of hair are combed in opposite directions. His part was right in the middle. Leave. The extended spatial location of something. Religions in all parts of the world. Go one's own way. Move apart. The friends separated after the party. Something determined in relation to something that includes it. He wanted to feel a part of something bigger than himself. An actor's portrayal of someone in a play. She played the part of Desdemona. Come apart. That which concerns a person with regard to a particular role or situation. It requires vigilance on our part. A part of an animal that has a special function or is supplied by a given artery or nerve. In the abdominal region. A knowledge domain that you are interested in or are communicating about. Here we enter the region of opinion. The extended spatial location of something. The farming regions of France. The approximate amount of something, usually used prepositionally as in the region of. It was going to take in the region of 2 or 3 months to finish the job. A large indefinite location on the surface of the Earth. Penguins inhabit the polar regions. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. Every day we have weather conditions and yesterday was no exception. The prevailing context that influences the performance or the outcome of a process. There were wide variations in the conditions of observation. The set of circumstances that affect someone's welfare. Hazardous working conditions. Face and withstand with courage. Towards the side exposed to wind. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. They were hoping for good weather. Cause to slope. Change under the action or influence of the weather. A weathered old hut. Sail to the windward of. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. Every day we have weather conditions and yesterday was no exception. The atmospheric conditions that comprise the state of the atmosphere in terms of temperature and wind and clouds and precipitation. Music. The distinctive property of a complex sound, a voice or noise or musical sound. A degree or grade of excellence or worth. The quality of students has risen. A characteristic property that defines the apparent individual nature of something. Each town has a quality all its own. Of superior grade. Quality paper. An essential and distinguishing attribute of something or someone. The quality of mercy is not strained. High social status. A man of quality. Of high social status. People of quality. A unit measuring force per unit area. A fossil fuel in the gaseous state, used for cooking and heating homes. A volatile flammable mixture of hydrocarbons, hexane and heptane and octane etc. Derived from petroleum, used mainly as a fuel in internal combustion engines. A state of excessive gas in the alimentary canal. The state of matter distinguished from the solid and liquid states by relatively low density and viscosity, relatively great expansion and contraction with changes in pressure and temperature, the ability to diffuse readily, and the spontaneous tendency to become distributed uniformly throughout any container. A pedal that controls the throttle valve. He stepped on the gas. Show off. A fluid in the gaseous state having neither independent shape nor volume and being able to expand indefinitely. Attack with gas, subject to gas fumes. The despot gassed the rebellious tribes. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. An intuitive understanding of something. He had a great feeling for music. A vague idea in which some confidence is placed. What are your feelings about the crisis? The sensation produced by pressure receptors in the skin. The surface had a greasy feeling. A physical sensation that you experience. He had a queasy feeling. The experiencing of affective and emotional states. She had a feeling of euphoria. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. The feel of the city excited him. Examine by touch. Come to believe on the basis of emotion, intuitions, or indefinite grounds. I feel that he doesn't like me. Perceive by a physical sensation, e.g., coming from the skin or muscles. Examine a body part by palpation. A property perceived by touch. Undergo an emotional sensation or be in a particular state of mind. An intuitive awareness. He has a feel for animals. Be conscious of a physical, mental, or emotional state. My cold is gone, I feel fine today. Be felt or perceived in a certain way. The ground feels shaky. Find by testing or cautious exploration. Grope or feel in search of something. Have a feeling or perception about oneself in reaction to someone's behavior or attitude. You make me feel naked. Manual stimulation of the genital area for sexual pleasure. The girls hated it when he tried to sneak a feel. Pass one's hands over the sexual organs of. Produce a certain impression. It feels nice to be home again. Undergo passive experience of. Physics, the 6 kinds of quarks. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. The taste experience when a savory condiment is taken into the mouth. Lend flavor to. Physics, the 6 kinds of quarks. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. The taste experience when a savory condiment is taken into the mouth. Lend flavor to. The guardian spirit of a place. The special atmosphere of a place. An atmosphere of depression and melancholy. Gloom pervaded the office. A feeling of melancholy apprehension. A state of partial or total darkness. He struck a match to dispel the gloom. An atmosphere of depression and melancholy. A feeling of melancholy apprehension. The quality of excessive mournfulness and uncheerfulness. An atmosphere of depression and melancholy. A gloomy, ill-tempered feeling. Take charge of or deal with. The general atmosphere of a place or situation and the effect that it has on people. Have faith or confidence in. Give a certain impression or have a certain outward aspect. This project looks fishy. Look forward to the probable occurrence of. She is looking to a promotion. The feelings expressed on a person's face. A look of triumph. Be oriented in a certain direction, often with respect to another reference point, be opposite to. The house looks north. Search or seek. We looked all day and finally found the child in the forest. The act of directing the eyes toward something and perceiving it visually. He went out to have a look. Accord in appearance with. You don't look your age. Convey by one's expression. She looked her devotion to me. Have a certain outward or facial expression. How does she look? Perceive with attention. Direct one's gaze towards. She looked over the expanse of land. Physical appearance. I don't like the looks of this place. Unhealthy vapors rising from the ground or other sources. The miasma of the marshes. An unwholesome atmosphere. The novel spun a miasma of death and decay. Unhealthy vapors rising from the ground or other sources. The miasma of the marshes. An unwholesome atmosphere. The novel spun a miasma of death and decay.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.